I thought I was just the quiet middle child no one paid attention to, but on my 18th birthday, I overheard a fight that revealed I was secretly adopted, and worse, my mom only took me in to replace the baby she lost and never told anyone about. Growing up as the middle child in a busy suburban Michigan household wasn't exactly glamorous. My name is Emily, just Emily. No special nickname, no over the top birthday parties, no framed photos on the wall like my older brother, Zach, or my little sister, Lily. I used to think it was normal. I used to think maybe middle children were just naturally invisible. Zach was the golden boy, star of his high school baseball team, class president, already accepted into college by junior year. Mom and dad, well, mom especially, fawned over him like he could do no wrong. Lily, on the other hand, was the baby, always needing help, attention, validation. Her drawings, even if they were just stick figures with crooked smiles, got stuck on the fridge like masterpieces. Every time I got an A on a paper, barely a glance, maybe a mumbled, good job. I learned early on how to be quiet, how to make myself small. I never threw tantrums or asked for much. I stayed out of trouble, read books, got decent grades, and tried not to be a burden. That's what I thought they wanted. But silence doesn't earn you love. If anything, it makes you easier to forget. Birthdays were the worst. Not because they were bad, just hollow. Zach always had some huge celebration with dozens of kids and a bounce house in the backyard. Lily's parties were like Instagram worthy events, even before she knew how to spell her own name. Mine? A last minute cake from Kroger and a card that sometimes didn't even have my name spelled right. That year, my 18th birthday, I didn't expect much. In fact, I almost forgot it myself. It landed on a Monday. I had classes, work at the campus bookstore, and came home late, exhausted and numb. There was no cake on the table, no decorations. Just Lily watching Netflix in the living room and mom yelling from the kitchen. Dinner's in the fridge. I microwaved leftover pasta and went up to my room. No happy birthday. Not even a text from mom. That night, I stared at the ceiling and tried to convince myself it didn't matter. Maybe it really didn't. I was almost an adult. I could move out soon. Start over. Be seen. Be chosen. But the truth was, it hurt. More than I'd admit. Around midnight, I heard voices downstairs, arguing. Mom and dad were fighting again, which wasn't unusual. But this time, something felt different. The tone in dad's voice was sharper, angrier. He was saying things I'd never heard him say before, things that didn't make sense. I shouldn't have gone down the stairs. I shouldn't have listened. But I did. And what I heard changed everything I thought I knew about who I was, and why I'd always felt so unwanted. The first words I caught were muffled, but I could hear the urgency in Dad's voice. You should have told her the truth by now, Amy. She deserves to know. My heart stopped. Told me what? Mom hissed back. And destroy what? Her sense of family? Her life? She's already distant enough. How do you think she'd take it if she knew? Knew what? I sat down quietly on the stairs, my hand gripping the railing so tightly my knuckles turned white. Dad wasn't backing down. She's 18, Amy. She's not a child anymore. She has a right to know she's not our biological daughter. I couldn't breathe. I literally couldn't breathe. I clamped a hand over my mouth to stop from gasping. My mind raced. Not their daughter? What is he saying? Is this some horrible joke? Mom's voice dropped lower. We agreed to never speak about that again. Ever. Not even between us. She's going to find out one way or another, Dad shouted. And when she does, it'll be worse. Don't you see that? Mom's voice cracked. Do you think I wanted this? Do you think I planned to take someone else's baby and pretend it made everything okay? I couldn't move. I couldn't think. Then she said something I will never forget as long as I live. I lost her, Paul. I lost my real baby, and I was drowning. When the agency called and told us about a newborn girl that no one wanted, what was I supposed to do? I didn't do it for Emily. I did it because I couldn't handle the emptiness. That was it. My whole body went cold. I was adopted. And worse, I wasn't adopted out of love. I was a replacement, a filler, a silent ghost meant to heal a wound I never caused. I don't remember going back to my room. I just remember shaking, staring into the mirror and not recognizing the girl looking back at me. Suddenly, everything made sense: the emotional distance, the neglect, the lack of affection. I wasn't their real daughter. I was a stand in for someone else. Someone they really wanted. Someone they mourned. I was never seen because I was never meant to be there in the first place. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat in the dark, listening to the silence that now felt loaded, like every corner of this house was hiding something from me. At one point, I opened my baby album, or what I thought was my baby album. It was mostly blank. A couple of photos of me as a toddler, none as a newborn. No hospital bracelet, no birth certificate copy, no ultrasound pictures like the ones in Zach's or Lily's albums. I used to think it was just mom being forgetful, or maybe she'd lost those pictures during one of our many moves. But now I knew the truth. There were never any pictures because I wasn't born here. I wasn't born to her. I thought about confronting them right away, barging into the kitchen screaming, "So I'm adopted? Just a replacement?" But the fear of hearing it confirmed, of seeing it in their eyes, kept me frozen. I didn't go downstairs in the morning. I waited until everyone left, then I searched. I started in mom's closet. I know it was a violation, but I didn't care. I deserved answers. I deserved the truth. That's where I found it. In a showbox, tucked behind old sweaters, wrapped in a faded blue baby blanket I'd never seen before. Inside were letters. Official looking ones. A couple were from the adoption agency, Hopeful Beginnings Family Services. One had my name on it. My full name before it was changed to Emily Lauren Reed. I was born Emily Grace Hall. There was also a hospital discharge form with another woman's name listed as birth mother, Anna Hall, 19 years old. No father listed. Adoption plan approved was stamped across the top. And then, a death certificate for another baby girl, Madison Reed, born 2 months before me, died at just 3 days old. That was their baby. That was the child mom had carried, loved, and lost. That was who I had replaced. I collapsed onto the floor and just cried. It was the kind of crying that shakes you, that makes you feel like you're choking on your own breath. It wasn't just grief, it was betrayal. My entire life had been wrapped in lies. When I finally pulled myself together, I stared at the name, Anna Hall. I had to find her. Not because I needed a new mom, but because I needed something real. Something that was mine, not borrowed. Not a secret. It took me 2 weeks to find her. I waited until I had enough saved from my bookstore job and told mom I was going on a weekend college tour with friends. I packed a bag, bought a bus ticket, and headed 2 hours north to a town called Greenfield, where the adoption papers said Anna Hall had last lived. I was shaking the entire ride. What if she didn't want to see me? What if she'd moved? What if she was dead? But when I knocked on the door of a small yellow house, a woman in her late 30s opened it, looking shocked. Her hand flew to her mouth. "Oh my God," she whispered. "You look just like." "Are you Anna Hall?" I asked, my voice barely holding together. She nodded slowly. "Yes, I am. I think." I started, my throat tight. "I think I'm your daughter." She stared at me for a long, long time. Then she started crying and pulled me into the kind of hug I'd never felt before in my life. Anna told me everything. She had gotten pregnant in college. Her boyfriend had left as soon as she told him. Her parents were furious, and after a messy few months, she was forced to give me up. She'd never even held me after birth. They whisked me away almost immediately. "I asked about you," she said, holding my hands like she was afraid I'd disappear. "They told me you were placed with a good family, that you'd be loved." I didn't know how to respond. I didn't want to hurt her, but I couldn't lie. "They weren't cruel," I said softly. "But I was never really theirs." We spent hours together that weekend. She showed me pictures of her life, her husband, her 2 sons, my half-brothers. She told me about the regret she carried every day, and I could see that it was real. This wasn't a woman who forgot about her child. This was someone who never stopped wondering if I was okay. For the first time in my life, I felt chosen, but I also felt torn. Because no matter how much pain mom caused me, a part of me still needed closure. I needed to hear it from her. I came home Sunday night. When I walked in the door, mom was sitting at the table, sipping coffee. Her eyes met mine and widened. "Emily," she said cautiously, "we need to talk." I nodded and sat across from her. "I know you hurt us that night," she said, her voice trembling. "I should have told you. A long time ago." "Why didn't you?" I asked. "Why keep it a secret my whole life?" She looked away. "Because I was scared. Scared you'd leave. Scared you'd hate me. I lost Madison, and it broke me. I thought adopting you would fix it. But it didn't. I didn't know how to love you without feeling guilty. Without comparing." I swallowed hard. "So you took me in. Not because you wanted me, but because you lost her." Tears ran down her face. "At first, yes. That's the ugly truth. But then you were here. And you were smart and quiet and kind. I just didn't know how to reach you. I failed you, Emily. I didn't speak for a long time. There was too much pain between us. But then I said the one thing that had been burning inside me for days. I met Anna." Her head shot up. "What?" "She's alive. She's married. She has 2 sons, my half-brothers. And she wanted me. She still does." A silence fell between us. "Are you going to live with her?" Mom finally asked, voice small. "I don't know," I answered honestly. "But I am going to have her in my life." She nodded. "That's fair." We sat there for a long time, not speaking, not hugging, just being honest. The next few months were hard. Therapy, hard talks, emotional breakdowns. I kept seeing Anna. She met Zach and Lily eventually, who were both stunned but supportive. Dad apologized for keeping the truth from me. And Mom, she started trying. Really trying. I don't know if I'll ever fully forgive her for the lie. But I do know this. I was never just the quiet middle child. I was the daughter of 2 mothers, one who gave me life, and one who tried, in her own broken way, to give me a home. And now, for the first time, I get to choose who I want to be.